Love talking to nationally syndicated radio host Dana Loesch. She's very smart. Dana, your thoughts on all this? There's a lot of talk, Dana, the president and Israel and Gulf nations that got to end Iran's terror regime now. Get it done. Because what if Iran did get those 11 nuclear bombs? Their terrorism would only get worse.
That's exactly right, Liz, and love your program and love joining you. And that's it. And I think that this is the closest we will probably ever get in our lifetimes to ending this. And I just hope that NATO, I hope that all of the people who have been railing on the president and his actions are paying attention to how many people have come together in this really ragtag group, this coalition, to oppose this. It's not just Israel. We have the Saudis, we have the Emiratis. I mean, there are a number of Middle East nations that are saying, yes, this has to end now. And we're there. And Israel's not alone in committing forces either. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's staging. And looking at Carg Island obviously would be a lot easier than staging some sort of mainland attack. But boots on the ground, I know that's a last resort for the president, and it could be likely Israeli soldiers going in first and maybe only. But he has so far kept his word on this. It's been surgical. I think they've been very transparent. And Liz, what you just said about the nuclear capability of Iran as well, when they came to that negotiating table and they told Steve Witkoff, we are not going to give up anything diplomatically that you can't take militarily. I mean, they already said that it's a non-starter. They're not even interested in negotiating. Right now, this is the last gasp of a dying regime. Liz, they are so unbelievably beaten. The IRGC just lowered the age of service for males in Iran to 12 and 13 years old. 12 and 13 years
old?
That is how beaten back, and yes, that came out today. That is how beaten back they are. We have air supremacy. They have nothing left. It would be better for them if they just stopped fighting and resisting altogether.
Okay, so let's go through it. Iran's Navy chief overseeing the closing of the Strait of Hormuz killed in an airstrike. Their Navy's on the bottom of the sea. They have no air force. Missiles and drones are getting depleted. They're willy-nilly shooting them off. Gulf states backing up Trump and Israel, as you point out, condemning Iran's blatant criminal attacks against their oil infrastructure. They're signaling a readiness to act in self-defense to join with the U.S. and Israel. But Iran is also threatening another crucial global oil shipping route. It connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. They're not stopping.
No, they're not stopping, but I really don't think that militarily they're going to be capable at doing much more. I mean, they're hanging on just by their fingers at this point. The only thing that was interesting that I think did kind of maybe surprise NATO, but not the administration, and showed that President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio knew exactly what they were talking about when they fired off, Liz, those two regional missiles. Now, remember, the Iranians said that the only capability they had were 2,000 kilometers. These were 4,000 kilometers. That put England, or Britain, it put France, it put Germany, put everybody in harm's way. So now NATO started taking it a little bit more seriously. The EU started taking it a little more seriously. We saw some more efforts committed to what the president was doing, what our country was doing, the Israelis, the other Middle Eastern nations. And so now people see, yeah, they were actually lying this entire time. That's why they came to the table and said, all right, the jig is up. This is what we got. We're not giving it up. So President Trump called their bluff, and he's done more than any other president in our lifetimes to get us to this point. And they're trying to derail it because we're that close. This is not going to be a forever war. This is not going to be a long commitment. And I think the ground that we have gained thus far and what we have seen has proven that.
Dana Loesch, always terrific, so smart. Imagine if Iran got nuclear bombs on those missiles that could hit all of Europe and France and more.
Exactly.
Dana Loesch, thank you so much.